If you can go.
The
Did you
stream is
ever listen?
live, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Did you ever listen to that song I sent to you?
I don't know.
No, you did. Y'all, we caught Sue right there, didn't we? Hey,
No, I,
everybody.
I
Hold
don't
on.
know. Listen, don't ask me what I did yesterday. Don't even ask me what I did this morning. I'm just saying it's been like that. I'm
Yeah,
I
hey,
have my
trust me, I
list and
get
I'm
that.
checking it off.
I definitely understand that. So, welcome, everybody, whoever's showing up, uh, to the late night happy hour with Carrie Irene and Dr. Sue, or whatever comes up, comes
Comes out.
okay. Because we get rid of stuff today. Let's get it on out of here. Let's get on out of here. So tell me about your day. Tell me about your week. Catch us up, Dr. Sue.
Where I tell all my business and I tell Carrie Irene's too.
Why not, right? Why not?
So I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, the what comes up. And I said to Carrie, I cleared my desk. My desk had so much paper on it that I really couldn't. It's a wooden desk. It's one of those conference kind of table things. Couldn't see the table. There was no wood to be seen. So today, and it's been like that for a little while. I've been doing clearing in stages. First, I had to get it out the box, and then I had to, go sort it and get rid of the bad stuff. And so today, I was finally able to get it done. Meaning, I had some business that I had to take care of with that. Y'all, $2,000 on the table. All I had to do is send the paperwork in. Like, what is wrong with me? what is wrong with me? Can't hear you, Carrie.
No, you go ahead. I was just saying, I said, we making space for money.
I know, making space. And so, what's coming up for me today is, and I think we talked about this some last week, but what's coming up for me today is if you have not done so already, this is a great time to clear away the clutter in your life, clear away the clutter and make space for the new year. And the new year is just that. It's only another day, but it is a day that you can start the life that you want. You can step out of negative energy. You can step out of the pain, of the trauma. You can step out of whatever you want to step out of and really create the life that you desire. And so I just want to talk about, I want to give some tools and tips for doing that. But I'm just curious as to, Carrie, where are you with regard to that, and where other people might be? Because I think that all too often is, I kind of think of us, and this isn't the most savory way of doing it, but I think of what we consume uh, during the course of a year. We're kind of like a garbage can, and we are taking in other people's shit. I said I wasn't gonna cuss that. That's not a curse word, y'all. I'm just saying that's the equivalent of stuff. So we are taking in other people's stuff all year long, whether it's the husband or the wife or the significant other, whether it's the people on the job, whether it's your children, your friends, and the subconscious mind is like Teflon. Whatever touches you is implanted there. And so that energy, the energy of their negativity, if you've got friends or a friend, and every time you talk to that person, they don't have anything positive to say. All they can tell you is all of the bad things that are going wrong in their life. And have you noticed that if you have a friend like that, even though you may have been feeling really, really good, you find yourself agreeing with them, and almost instinctively, without even recognizing it, you're searching your own psyche for, yeah, and what's been going wrong in my life? How can I share the energy that this person is presenting? And it's not something that we think about. It's a form of mirroring. It is a way to establish rapport. When you're talking communications, it's establishing rapport, and it's a way
Right,
of
right.
connecting with your friends or with whomever you're talking about. But the question is that something that you want to connect with? Right? So begin to
Mhm.
be intentionally conscious of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and leave behind that stuff that is not serving you. And it doesn't matter whether it is, I'm the mind mastery architect. So I'm all into, let's think about what you're thinking. Because what you're thinking, your thought creates your reality. Your thought creates that space that you step into. And if it's a negative thought, then you don't find anything positive. Because it's like which color glasses are you looking through? Are you looking through the black glasses that you can't see through and all you can see is the negative stuff in your life? Or are you looking through, I wouldn't say looking through rose colored glasses. I'm going to say, are you looking through clear glasses so that you can really understand that what you're seeing isn't real and you get to create the real that you want it to be? Carrie Irene.
Listen, now you already know you're talking my shit.
So, I just want people to think about that. I know, when we start talking metaphysics, it can get really deep, but I like to keep it at a practical level, and the reality is that everything that exists that could not exist but for a thought in somebody's mind. It doesn't matter whether it's a chair you're sitting on, the glasses you have on your face, the shirt you have on your body. Somebody started that started from a thought. Well, if you can start all these good things, all these physical things from a thought, and it becomes your way of living, your dream house, your dream job. Come on, how about a dream life? You can have a dream life, but you can't have it if you allow yourself to be stuck in the lower level vibration, stuck in the anger, stuck in, the stuff.
It's I do know. I absolutely know.
And jealousy and vengefulness and hatred, those are lower vibrational traits. If you're stuck in that, no, you're not going to see, man, the sun is shining so bright, because all you can see is, damn, it's dark in here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And the importance of your perspective is like really what that is, like that mind mastery. Because in your mind, what happens is when we catch up to it, we already hear the chatter. We already hear the noise. There's already noise there most of the time. So what we're trying to do is figure out how to sort out those thoughts and sort out those things that are coming up for us. And that is good. And, and that is where most people start, as you should. But as you begin to start that process, and you start to begin to learn about energy and how energy works, you realize that very seldom do you have to kick somebody out of your house that you don't invite in, right? So when you are thinking about energy, we think about the perspective of what we see. But what we have to understand about vision, any vision, whether it's your eyes, whether it's your soul, no matter what it is, which is why we say where energy goes, energy grows, because that's where your focus is, and that's your vision. Vision is very powerful because we act on what we see. But everything that you see is coming in. And in order for it to get to you, it has to pass everything you have stored. Because the core is soul. The core is soul. We're just this vessel. We're always saying that I'm a human being and a spiritual experience, and believe that though, because that's really what it is. Because as you see, it comes in. There's not something in there that's just looking out. There's things out here that something in here can see. And so it has to travel through this Byzantine conduit of everything that we are to get to our very soul. But when that happens, that's when the script of the movie starts. It's describing everything you see. Now, what good does it do us to walk by a tree and be like, that's a nice tree? That doesn't change the fact that it's a tree, nor that it's nice. But we feel like we have to describe and play out everything that happens in life. Like my thought right now, I have to tell you in a way. Now, I can sit here and me and DrSue can think long enough and looking at each other, and I guarantee we'll get the energy of everything we talked about. But for the for the sake of transcending time and the space that we have right here on this platform, where you use these words, where you do that same thing in your mind, because it bridges between what you're seeing, it's describing the perspective of which you're living, and then you are acting on it, thinking that you got to fix something, change something, when truly what we need to be doing is paying attention. That's just another word for awareness, which is why we preach and practice and talk about awareness so much, because if we can realize in that moment, if this is scripting this way, this is what it had to filter through to get to me to be able to understand it at all. So if I am describing everything in a negative way, what is it traveling through that every time it's got to see something, that it's got to tell me everything wrong with it? That's in you. That's not on the outside of you. Because I can see something and you can see something. What are you in law enforcement? How reliable really is the eyewitness? Because everybody sees something based on what they think they should have seen by what they've seen every moment before this moment right here. And that's why be here now, be here now, be here now, because we want to be everywhere we ever been. And compared to this, that reminds me of my Aunt Sally stairs. So I mean, we all do it. I do it, and I love to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not attached to something or a block or a trigger that you've been carrying around since Moses was a baby. And we do that. We get our little backpack of life and we put all these things in there. And every time we look at something, we look through that backpack of surprises. And then we wonder why nothing is going right. Well, you're filtering it through everything that's ever went wrong. So that's what you're seeing. Right? It's crazy,
Well, absolutely, it's right. And I think that what I like about this conversation and the conversations that we have is that we bring awareness to topics and to issues that perhaps have not been addressed before, or that many of the people who are hearing us haven't thought about. And the thing that I want to say is that coming to this space is a process. It didn't just happen overnight. And I think that's what you said too, Carrie. It didn't just happen overnight, because I just, I'm always telling my business, and I do it to teach. I was totally in the dark. I had no idea. The things that we're talking about now, when I was your age, Carrie, I had no idea, none. And so I'm still, once I opened up to it, I just started getting downloads. And I immersed myself in it. That's my work. And I am in that work day and night. I every day I am listening to something that relates to the mind, something that relates to reality, consciousness, higher consciousness, every day through the day. And at night, I will sleep with the earphones in, because when you're asleep, your subconscious mind is still working. And that's when you can just really learn so much stuff without having to stress and strain to figure it out. Just put the phones on, go to sleep, because your mind is still active and listening. And I think that I say that because I want people to know that it is possible, wherever you are, whatever your beliefs are, if you desire to learn more about the things that we talk about. Oh my God, I love YouTube University. I just absolutely love it, because you can find everything there. And some of my favorite authors or the representatives of this line of thought is my absolute favorite one is Neville Goddard, back in the 1800s. And so we hear people like Lisa Nichols and Tony Robbins and
Lauren Scovel Shin too was right there with him.
yeah, but what I'm going to say about the newer age people is that they didn't create this, y'all. They did not originate this. This knowledge. This is knowledge that the mystics had. This is knowledge that has been passed down through the eons, right? Through the generations. And what you see with the Tony Robbins, or what you see with the Lisa Nichols, or any of the other people who are on this the big stage. They just figured it out. They figured it out. And so on this platform, I like it that we're helping you figure it out. And we're helping you figure it out at no cost. It's just, do you have a desire? Do you want to take it to the next level? If you do, what I'm suggesting is that set an intention that you're going to move in that direction in 2025. Set the intention now. Come up with a strategy. Whether you're gonna listen to something every day, or you're gonna read something, or you're gonna write about something. It doesn't matter. There's so many things that you can do. Or you're just gonna sit in the silence and allow Source to connect with you and give you those downloads. There's so many ways to do this, but none of it's gonna happen if you don't have the intention and the commitment plus the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely agree. I was looking at the notes that I wrote right before, like when you were talking earlier about that trash can. I feel like just because I keep looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know, I need to say it, one of those things. But you were talking about that trash can earlier, and how we go through life a lot of times like a trash can, just carrying all this garbage and stuff like that. And one of the things that popped up was, and you have to take your trash, and you have to take that trash out every so often. And I think one of the things that turns people off so much about trash, like trash is stinky, trash is nasty, trash is oozy, gushy, and all these things, it's only that way if it stays there too long. Trash ain't really that nasty, honestly. If you got one trash bag, you done with that one trash bag. You take that one trash bag back. Yeah, you might have put something a little liquidy or whatever, but that's what spiritual agility is all about. It's the maintenance points. It's the service stations. It's the checkpoints. Whenever you take that trash can out, a lot of times your trash, every time you take it out, it gets worse and worse, but it's because you're not cleaning the trash can when you take it out either. Some of it, you letting the juice from old trash linger in, and it's making your fresh trash, quote unquote, look way worse than it really is. But it's really because every time you lift that new trash bag out of there to take it out, you still got juice down there from years ago that's rotten and stinking and all that kind of stuff. And that's what the Neville Goddard is for. That's what the Sue is for. That's what the Carries are for. That's what these places are for, and these conversations are for. Is to realize, where's that smell coming from? And sometimes we just need to get down there and get a good wash. And you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in the trash. You don't have to figure out where that juice came from. Clean that out. Clean it out energetically, because everything holds energy. You don't have to know specifics when it comes to energy. For instance, you ever walked into the room and knew you ain't supposed to be there? You don't go interview every person in the room to see who it is that you got to get away from. You get out the room, because you don't need details when you just know. When you know something is wrong, when you know something isn't quite right, when you know everything is good, but you're trying to get to another level. When you on another level, but for some reason you can't let go of the previous one. When you straddling the fence between two decisions, everything can be perfect, and sometimes you still stuck. You just be stuck because it's an energy that you got to release. You don't need to know the specifics. You just need to know, okay, where do I feel it in my body? What are the different things that keeps coming up for me? Where is it that I always stop and don't know how to pivot? And then energetically, once you start to work with someone and realize what energy is and how it flows, that memory or whatever it is will pop up, but it only takes the instance for it to just. It's more so like, it ain't like you're saying, ooh, what was that? It's like, oh, that's what it was. And that's two completely different energies, because sometimes we get caught up in the digging, because as we dig, like how many posts you see on Facebook, and it's like, this is me cleaning out my closet, and they got like a floaty, and they got a kazoo in their hand, and they're playing a ukulele, because they just getting so distracted by everything that's buried in the closet. And we do that sometimes. We start looking through our trauma and our past and our troubles, and we get so sidetracked by things that wasn't even bothering us until we start talking about it and bringing it up all the damn time. And then it creates this new wound. But if we look at it as, I have an energy, and I know there's something going on, and it feels like this because it shows up as shame. Okay, if it shows up as shame, then that's probably my crown chakra, or that's probably my third eye chakra. So I need to think about these energies and what the personality is of this third chakra. Once you start realizing that and what it means to you, that's when you all of a sudden be like, that's what it was. That's what it was. And now I can move because you pissed off about something here, or you didn't let go of that, or you didn't have enough of this here. And those things will travel with you, but you can't go back and get it there. That's why it's important to be here now and work with the energy of a thing rather than the specifics of a thing, so you can release a thing in order to get a thing. All the things. We can get them all. We can get them all.
I totally agree with that. But just realistically speaking, oftentimes people have so much noise going on in their head, so many narratives that are just that are all over the place, that there has to be some reflection of the past in order to even be able to move to the future, or to be able to get to the present. One of the things that I learned as a law enforcement officer is that when you're communicating, when you're attempting to communicate with a person, if that person, as long as they're in the energy, they can't hear you. All they hear is the story that's going on in their head, right? And so, for instance, if you respond to a call and the person is cussing and fussing, you can't resolve that conflict until you get that person to calm down, because the hormones, the chemicals that are being released have clouded their brain. They can't think, they can't hear, they can't anything. So a part of being a great coach is allowing the person to express, to take off the top layer of garbage. Notice I said the top layer. Take off the top
exactly.
layer.
Exactly.
Right? Because you don't want to stay there, but you may have to visit there, but you don't want to stay there. There are people who have been in traditional therapy for years and years and years and years and years, and still have not gotten any better because they just keep digging and playing around in the same garbage. At some point, you have to say enough is enough. I don't give a shit about, oh, I said I wasn't going to curse, but I don't care about, I don't care about what happened back then. This is right now, and I get to create a new me, a new story, a new life with new people, with new everything, because I have that power. I have the power.
Yeah, and I think in between the two of those, it's knowing what kind of coach you need, or not even if it may be therapy, it may be a counselor, it could be a friend, it could be a group, support group even. You got to know what you need, like what stage you are, because like she said, there's sometimes where you do need to go deep, just because it's it's a matter of trauma and identifying, or either forgiving or healing, or whatever it is for you. I know that's not my expertise. That's one thing I can say for sure. That is not my space. And when I tell you, I give my hats off to those that do it, that do that deep work, that would, go through trauma and identify things. Like, I mean, kudos, because I've seen what it can do for people. Family members of mine, like one of the first time I ever did a healing summit that was specific in a topic, it was on sexual trauma. And it's because I found out a lot of things that happened to a relative of mine. And it's necessary in some cases. It's just absolutely necessary in some cases, because that child needs a voice, and we don't want to take that away from you. But I do know for my clients and the people that I work with, it's just like, it's not that you get it. You just hadn't really figured out how to see it working for you. It works, and you see the glimpses of it, and you have these sporadic moments, but the flow didn't seem to clank in there. Oh, what when it do? Because okay, for instance, if you see a train going 100 miles an hour, right? You see a train going 100 miles an hour. Please don't take for granted the moment of stillness. Because that's what it takes for it to move in a different direction. Because if your momentum was going this way at 100 miles an hour, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to destruction. The first thing you got to do is stop. That's the only thing necessary for you to start going in another direction. And a lot of the people that I see, and I'm sure you too, DrSue, you see, it's not anything horrible a lot of times. It's just that they're like, ain't nothing. I'm stagnant. I'm bored with life. Or I don't know why I can't get any further. I'm doing all the right things. I'm expanding, whatever. And I'm just, and then, and for me, because I can really relate to this with a lot of clients, you get in your ego too. You're getting your ego, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing all the right things and I'm showing up this, that, another. And it just doesn't seem like it's moving. But baby, listen, it is moving, but you got to wait for things to catch up. That's what momentum is all about. You got to wait for all of that to catch up with you. You know what I mean? It take a lot of falling down before a baby learns how to walk. But you don't tell him to go sit his ass down somewhere. You say, get up. Come on now, because it's going to take a matter of getting that balance, seeing what that feels like, knowing like when I started leaning to the left and not necessarily reach for something on the left, just lean to the right. You don't have to, sometimes you don't need support. You just got to know you. And that's what energy teaches you about you and when to lean to the right and the left. So to balance your way through things. And I can see you itching to say something, Dr. C. I see you right over
there. You touched on several things that I just want to touch on briefly. One is forgiveness. And we know that forgiveness is for ourselves. It's not for the other person. And if you are harboring anger and whatever the animosity toward someone else may be, or whether it's even towards yourself for something that you did or that you think you shouldn't have done, that you didn't do that you think you should have done, whatever the anger, whatever the source of that is, anger is a killer. Anger is a low vibrational characteristic. When you are, anger is the same as love energetically. It attaches you to the object that your anger is directed to. And no matter how hard you work until you release that, then you're going to be caught up in that energy. If you had an argument with someone and you walk away and you're still having thoughts about it, you're still connected to that person. That person may have gone on and is now enjoying a beautiful life, and you're still connected to them because you're pissed off at them for something that happened 30 years ago. And the truth is, they don't care, but you can't get out of your slump. You can't move forward. You're still stuck in 30 years back. The only way to be present is to release the anger of the 30 years, because it's like an albatross on your back. It's like a rope around your neck. And when you release it, oh my goodness, there's such freedom. It really, literally, it's like your heart opens up. And that's what we want. That's where the good energy comes in. The other thing that I made a note about is, when we are talking about creating your reality in the lens that you're looking through, a lot of times it's hard for us to even think about that. It's hard for us to think about creating the life we want because we no longer dream. When we were kids, we had big dreams. Most of us did. We wanted to be a gazillion things all at once. And the thing about it is that everybody encouraged us. So I want to be a fireman and a policeman and a nurse and a doctor and a garbage collector. And I want to preach. I want to do it all. And everybody, as a little kid, and everybody who heard you, they laughed and they felt so good. And you felt so good. And then at some point you were told, in essence, don't dream. That's a waste of your time. But what I'm telling you, I tell you that only to say this. If you want to create a new life, You have to go back to being as you, the way you were as a child. If you had a vivid imagination as a child, that's when we talk about visualization, when we talk about using imagery to create the life that you want and then bring it forward to you in the present right now. That's what we're talking about, using the power of your imagination. Never God, it talks about it in terms of your imagination is the equivalent of God. Some people say yay, some people say no. I say that if it's not the equivalent of God, it certainly is one of the greatest gifts that God has given us. The power of the mind, the power of our the ability to create a whole world inside of our head. And here's the thing, you may be saying, well, I can't do that, I can't do that, but you do it every day. You do it all day. If you're going to have a meeting with somebody, show me by a raise of hand. I can't see you, but I'm just saying, raise your hand anyway. If you're going to have a meeting with somebody, you have already been in the meeting before you get to the meeting. You know who's going to be there. You know what they're going to say. You either or you're already doing it. How are you doing it when you're not physically there, but mentally you're there, and you have an image of everything in that room, of everything that's going to take place. You hear their voice. You see if there's smells, if they're going to have lunch, you're going, and I hope it's good. They're going to have fried chicken. You already smell
It better be good. It better be good now.
You're already smelling it. That is the power of your imagination. That's what we're talking about. Using imagery as you visualize the life that you want and pull it into right now and start acting in this moment. Act like you've got it. And there's a certain energy. There's a certain energy that you have when you do that. Like, here's an example. I went to the bank. So I'm starting I'm closing my business in Atlanta and shifting gears. And so now I'm doing DrSue Carter Collins LLC in Florida, right? And so I went to the bank on Wednesday to set up my account, right? And so I've got this meeting with the banker. So I put on my lawyership. I got all lawyered up, right? I got my uniform, because we all have uniforms for the profession.
Oh, you know it.
I got lawyered up, got my little high heels on, got looking cute, and I went in and had this conversation, and I found myself feeling different. I felt like the lawyer / doctor. Now, in general, when I'm not on here, I'm wearing sweats, beat up sweats. I'm looking some kind of way, y'all. I'm just saying, I'm not the makeup girl. When I have on makeup now, what did I do? I took the sponge and got the grease off, and I see I'm still shining.
You got the grease off.
So I finally got to the point where my facial routine is I now put on some moisturizer and I put on some eye stuff, put on a little eyelash. But I got foundationed up, right?
Did you put on some blush?
Lawyered up. Look in the part. And this is and this is what we mean when we say the reality. You create the reality in your mind and step into the energy of it right now. I walked in, I got my purse that's matching my shoes. I got my suit that I know I'm looking good and very distinctive. Bald-headed black woman walking up in here.
She cute. She cute off the jump. She cute.
All eyes on me. All eyes on me, right? Just saying. Listen, y'all, think about the who that you want to be in 2025. Embody that energy. See yourself. And this is the other thing I was going to say about that experience with the banker. I became conscious of feeling a whole different way. There was a lawyer persona that came out. I hadn't seen that girl since I was with the police department as an attorney in 1994. But that energy came back. It's like I'm in command of this situation, right? And so embody the energy of the person or the persona that you want and do it now. But you have to be able to see yourself in detail. I had already visualized how that meeting was going to go. I already did. I knew that I had the power to make it a very friendly and a very a meeting that was comfortable for me. I had the ability to charm him or her so that they would enjoy my presence, right? And that's what developing a banking relationship is about. So what is it that you who are listening, what is it that you want to embody? This is the time to think about it. Don't wait till January 2, because January 1, you're going to be out, right? Don't wait.
Recovering. Recovering.
Don't wait till January 2 to start thinking about, what do I want in 2025? You still got a few more days, almost 2 weeks. Think about it now and get rid of the clutter. Get rid of the clutter. And you may not have time to get rid of all your physical clutter, but begin to get rid of the clutter in your mind. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes. Because that's the loudest. That's the one that's constant. That's the one that we listen to even when we're not listening. You know, we can shut the door on anybody else. We can hang up the phone. You know, we can stay at home and don't go nowhere. But that voice in your head, baby, I'm tell you, it's gonna tell you everything you need to know. And listen to it. Sit in your God-given seat of awareness and let it talk. Pay it attention. Give it the respect that it deserves because you did that. You created that voice. How dare you be mad at it? It's stuff you've created. But the only way to release it is to have the conversation with it. Let it get out what it needs to say so you know how to move. It'll tell you how to move. I'm telling you, and we get so frustrated with it because it does. It just gets so loud and it's so, sometimes you just sit with it. When you get to that point where you're like, I just want to scream, I can't breathe, I want you to sit and I want you to visualize that chatter, that noise, that uncomfortability of everything that's going on inside of your head. And I want you to sit there as if you were energetically just sitting in the middle of a floor, Indian style. Just sit there and just let it, just make put it like it's a person, like a kid, just running around. Whatever you need to do. See that thing rambling and rambling and rambling and having this fit, just absolute fit, and just sit there. Sit there. Indian style and science, just silence, just let it do what it do. And then when you can see that there's a moment in time to where that voice starts to kind of lighten up, sit there in silence and hold out your arms and just let it come to you. And think of a warm embrace to that thing. Because sometimes if you hear a kid and that mama, mommy, mommy, mama, 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 mom, 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 mommy, 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 mama, 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 only thing that wants you to say is what? That voice does not want to go no longer than you want to hear it. But it's got shit to say because it's got shit that it's just describing to you what you got there. That's it. That's it. Pay it attention. Pay it some.
That's so funny, but children are like that, and so is the voice. And actually, I said to my friend, I got voices in my head. Sometimes I feel like I got a whole community, and they are not on the same accord. One is saying this, the other one is saying something else, the other one is saying something else. But you listen, and what you find is that as long as you're silent and you're listening, then in time the energy dissipates. And then what you'll find is that your voice, your true authentic voice, can be heard, and it will say something that is very supportive of you to help you move forward on your journey. But as long as you're in the noise, I got people. I'm just saying, I got people.
I do too. I'm telling you, I'll be walking around this house having full-blown conversation, answering and asking questions, and wanting clarification.
Yeah, I got people. And, you know, I used to be afraid to say that because I thought, well, I don't want anybody to think I'm schizophrenic. But here's the thing, we all got people, and we got many of them. We just don't talk about it. But that's one of the things that I think we need to talk about stuff like that because that is normal to have the voices in your head. Schizophrenia, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't tell you the medical stuff. I, in my own belief, is that we all have these voices in our head. It becomes a problem when you cannot navigate the reality that you're in.
Ashe,
As long
hey, yes.
as, long as you are you're doing what you need to do on this earth plane on a daily basis. Have the voices, have the conversation, add some spice to your life. And if you
It
really
can be
get
entertaining.
creative, yeah, you really get creative, then we can talk about telepathy and moving energy across space and distance and how you can be in multiple places at once. But that's not where this conversation is going. But I'm just
Astral travel. Have you seen that movie? That's just, I think it's a series, and it's called Behind Her Eyes. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I haven't.
You gotta see it. Oh my God, that's so, it is so good, and it is like it's kind of like for people who are energetic believers and know the expansion and astral travel and stuff like that. It's kind of like, uh oh, it just
So
puts
is
you
it
there.
on is it on Netflix or
It's
what?
Netflix or Hulu. It's one of them. I want to say Netflix, but it could possibly be Hulu. And for Netflix or Hulu out there, if you ever want to sponsor the late night happy hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue, you let us know.
Bring it on.
We are available. We can be bought.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Without a
That's
doubt.
hilarious.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. But yeah, check that out. It's good. It keeps you entertained. Like I didn't know I didn't it, I usually don't watch TV for that very reason. All of the plots I feel like it's been written and it's just redone over and over
Mhm.
again in different ways. You know, I know every story, every love story is the same, every comedy is the same, every
Oh yeah.
it's the same. Everything if it explodes, there's a savior. You know, all the things. Yeah. This was good. It kept me guessing. I didn't know how it was going to end, and that was very pleasing to me because I always know the ending. The Sixth Sense back in the day, uh, I watched it maybe 3 minutes. I'm like, that dude dead. That's the first thing I said. I'm like, that dude's dead because I could tell by the way he was acting that he had read the script to the end before he started acting. I feel like movies like that, they shouldn't let the actor know what the end is because I can already tell his body language is that he dead. I'm like, he dead. But yeah, anyway, that's a little off script. So let's wrap this thing up. We got 13 minutes left. And thank you, Halima. And who else was in there? Tammy came through and seen us. And it said Emily was here and Des was here. What's up, y'all? So letting shit go. So that was it's so funny because that's my post today. I just posted right before, maybe a couple hours ago. Of what are you breaking up with? So you want to tell something you breaking up with, Dr. Sue, and then I'm gonna think of something. Let me see. Breaking up with.
I'm breaking up with this weight that I've been carrying with me. Yep, I am breaking up with it. I started my journey. I'm now at the end of 5 weeks. I have lost about 9 pounds on my way to
Burr, burr,
lose.
burr, burr, burr.
So I'm getting healthier. I'm working out in the gym again. I'm walking again. So I'm breaking up with being sedentary and with carrying weight that no longer serves a purpose. And I'm breaking up with being afraid to fully embrace all of my power and to step into it. I am committed to doing the things that cause me to experience fear. If I am afraid of it in any way at all, I'm going to do it, with one exception. I still can't. Oh, two. I'm scared of snakes. So I'm not embracing any snakes.
Okay, we're
And
gonna
I
let that's the reasonable.
Yeah, and I have long since given up driving on major highways like in Atlanta with the Spaghetti Junction thing. It's like it's too
Also
much.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Also very reasonable.
But that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so while I tell you what I'm breaking up with, now you got to think of what are you going to be dating. Okay,
Um,
all right, so I am breaking up with playing small. There's dreams that I've sat on and I have seen it and felt it and feel the gasp in my lungs of the butterflies in my stomach of some of the events that I will co-create, you know, and it's big. And I think my voice kind of cracked when I just said big, big. It's big, and I just try to I've constantly been spending so much time trying to gather the people to say, y'all, this is big. Come on, come on. I'm telling you, this is big. This is big. Instead of walking and people and just wait for the people to be like, that's big. Now, he told us it's going to be big, but that's big. And just not even if they don't see it, there's going to be some people that I try to gather and take with me that I want to be there so bad that ain't going to be there and be okay with that. You know, just because sometimes we don't want to play big until all the things are in place, but you got to be big to attract big. You know what I mean? You gotta be, like you said, you gotta take on that persona. And yeah, I'm breaking up with playing small. I can't. It's just time out for that. I'm breaking up with waiting on people. I'm breaking up with changing my plans to please the people that I want to come with me. I'm breaking up with trying to fit the description of what I want to do into somebody else's understanding of it. I'm breaking up with that. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So what you dating? What you dating?
um, I'm dating. Well, who I'm dating? I'm dating me. I'm dating me. Um, I'm going to do some fun things that I hadn't done before. Um,
Yeah, you
I
are.
I was thinking. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I said I've been working since I was 14. I've been working hard since I was 14. That means I've been working hard for the last 60 years, 60 years. I'm breaking up. I'm still going to be very devoted to my business because I love what I do and I don't consider it work. But I'm breaking up with the mentality of having to work hard. And I am dating me, and we're going to do some fun things this year. Um, I am also, I don't know, that's the big one for me, just
That is a
uh,
big one.
to date myself, to put me on a pedestal, to stop um, existing in a sea of not enoughism in any what kind of way, whether it's related to material wealth or I'm really leaning into, as you said, not looking with the physical eye, but being fully in tune with the spiritual eye and knowing that abundance is mine. And I keep um, what I would say to those who are listening, this is a pivot for me. And I'm thinking my podcast was called Pivot to Greatness. I still believe that we all have the ability to pivot. Can you read the signs? And are you willfully blind, or can you read the signs and choose to pivot to do something that is more in alignment with who you are and with who you choose to be? And so in this next season in my life, I'm leaning hard into me. And in doing so, um, I want you to know that this is not from a selfish place, but from a self full place that I have for most of my life given to everyone. at the drop of a hat, whether it's my time, my money, my clothes, my food, whatever. You need it, I'm giving it. But I've never done that to myself. For me, I say, no, I better not. No, I can't. So I'm
Now's not a
leaving
good
that
time.
behind.
Now's not a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a whole mindset too, that I pass by this church every day. And for those of you who are religious, just kind of give me a break. But I pass by this church. I pass by this church every day, and I look at the sign that it has on its little billboard, which comes from scripture. There's a scripture I think that talks about. I don't know if it's a scripture or not, Carrie. You more know, more than I do. But it's better to give than to receive. Is
Then
that a
they're
good
not
scripture?
giving up. No, that's not. It was funny because last week you said a scripture too, and it wasn't a scripture, and I just busted out laughing. I'm like, I'm just gonna let her have it.
Yeah. Well, this quote unquote, this scripture or something like that is on the church marquee. And every time I pass by and I read that, and I pass by it every day, and I read it and I think, who said that? No, it's not. No, it's not. It is not better to give than to receive. No, that's the message that we teach our children. And so our children grow up giving everything to everybody else and giving nothing to themselves. No, it is a gift to receive. Y'all better open up to receive it. We
You
don't
better
even
get
know
your
how
stuff.
to receive. We don't know how to receive. Somebody wants to give you something, you go, and I was big at this. Oh no, it's okay. I
You
learned to
can't even
say
take a
thank you.
compliment. Oh, that look good. This whole thing. It was only $7. I said you look
No, just
good,
thank
girl.
you.
You look good.
So I passed by that, whatever that is, the word, the little whatever it is, and I always have this. Stop it! Stop promoting that, y'all. Receive. Don't teach your children. Don't teach your friends. Don't teach people it's better to give than to receive. It is good to give. Absolutely, it's good to give, but it's also great to receive. So receive for yourself. Because here's the thing, if you give everything to everybody else, what do you have left? Give to yourself first. Give to yourself, and then you've got the overflow.
That is where we're supposed to give from. It's from that overflow. It's what's running over. I mean, even the scripture says, right? The way that that God gives, shaking, right. What is it? Shaking together and running over. Will men give to you? That's the way we're supposed to give to other people. It's the part that runs over. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that's what the scripture says. It's the part that you give is the part that's running over. Running over is what they're gonna give to you. Like, so what you think you're supposed to be giving? Because if other people are supposed to be receiving from you, that makes you the other man, and so you're supposed to be giving to it from the run over. You know, it just makes sense. But the thing is, who am I? Who am I? Because I interpret, things in a different way, because I take it at its energetic value. And I also realize and make sure I document what works for me. Everything that works for me ain't gonna work for Dr. Sue. Everything that works for Dr. Sue ain't gonna work for me. But if we are paying attention, like she says, self-full, not from a self perspective, self-full, so then I can give you all the other information that I have so that it can help you. But first, I got to figure me out. If I don't know me, then who is it that's giving to you? Because what it may be is that I'm mimicking you instead of sharing me with you. If I'm giving too much, because where am I getting this from? Where am I getting this from? If I'm not full when I give, where am I getting this from? No, we're not gonna do that. That's right. Give from your excess, not from your need. Don't give out of your need, because then the only thing that you're gonna replicate is more things to need. It's all a filtering point. Don't give from your needs. A lot of people, like, they, yeah, Again, like you said, if you're religious out there, please give me some grace. But I ain't going to the altar more than once for something. When they say take it to the altar and leave it there, but then you go tell everybody about your lack. You don't believe in the God you left your problem with. And how can you believe in a God when you don't believe in you? You know, I feel like we got that a little backwards. We're trying to get God to help us believe in ourselves. When I feel like it's the other way around. Once you believe in yourself, you'll realize what God is. I promise you, you will. Oh my God, that's a whole word. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We about to go for another hour if I get on started on that one. I felt heat in my face when I said that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so what I'm dating is confidence. I have swag. I know I have swag. I'm dripping with swag, but that is not synonymous with confidence. I'm gonna be dating confidence, like true confidence, and knowing my gifts and allowing myself to show those gifts and share those gifts and be who I truly am and be authentic. I am authentic. Don't get me wrong. When I show up in space to be authentic in that space. But I don't purposely be like, I got to tell y'all something about myself. And I do need to do more of that. I need to tell y'all more about myself and how I got to the point where I don't care what you think about me. Because it's not that I don't care about you. You know, it's not that I don't care if I hurt you or hurt your feelings or whatever. You know, I've had people call me, and I ain't going to call no names because honestly, if anyone out there thinks I'm telling your business, trust me, it's been a lot of people that has done this very same thing, has called me and told me something that I've said about them on Facebook. When I wrote whatever I said, the only person I was thinking about was me. You know, I wouldn't do that. This is not in my character. I'm not going to just write something about it, because I promise you, if I write a post and it's got to do with you, either you know it first or you ain't going to have to ask me, is that about me? If you gotta ask, it ain't about you. you know. I'm very blunt too. I'm very blunt. But I want to step into saying these things and being more cautious, because sometimes I don't say stuff and I don't post things because when I think of it, I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of such and such. She might think this is about her, and it ain't. It ain't no more of that. You know. Yeah, because I'm breaking up with playing small. And the big part about me is that a lot of times I get a message that's universal. That you ain't the only one that hit their toe. It hit my toe. So when it hit my toe, I feel like I need to share it, because these are universal things. Like the things in the sky and all these astrological things, don't let your sign fool you and think because you're Aries that Pisces energy ain't got nothing to do with you. You need to figure out what, I'm getting too deep, ain't I? Am I getting too deep, Dr. Sue?
Yeah, but we can go there, but not tonight. We'll have
not tonight. We ain't got enough time on the sun today.
It starts to get a little deep when we start to talk about the metaphysics of it all. But what I will say is that we're all connected. I mean, it's that whole universal law of oneness. There's only one. There's only one, and we are that one. We're that one. And so a thought that I have is not just restricted to me. You can have, we're all operating regardless of where you are in this consciousness, in your consciousness level, someone is operating at that same level. And so a thought that you have, someone else can have that same thought. That's how scientists are around the world, not talking to each other, but working on the same thing. So yeah, we can go there sometime, but probably not tonight.
No, ain't no way. It's 9:03. Yeah. All right, Dr. Sue, what is your final words for everybody in Facebook and YouTube land? What's up, Dion?
I just well, first of all, season's greetings, whatever season, however you view the holiday. And even if you don't view this as a holiday, greetings. Be safe, enjoy life, but clear the clutter, clear the mental clutter. And if you need to, clear the people, places, and things in your life that are not supporting you. Because remember this, not everybody is supposed to go with you. We all want companionship, and it would be great, going back to something that you were talking about earlier, Carrie, about you wanting to carry people with you. Not everybody's supposed to go. And if if a person is supposed to go with you, you don't have to chase them down. You don't have to ask them. They will be asking you because they can see their destiny is tied with yours. So, for those of you who are listening, who is going with you and who is not going with you? And be a big enough person to say to that person, don't let the person wonder. If you, depending on the nature of your relationship, if the relationship is over, say, be kind, be compassionate, but peace out. You know, don't leave that person wondering whether they're still in. Don't ghost them. That's the new thing that people do these days. Don't ghost them. Have courage. Have the courage of your conviction. If the person is no longer in your life, let them go all the way, energetically.
Wash out the juice in the bottom of the trash can, because we don't want to hear you complain about how that trash can is so funky. Rinse it out. Rinse it out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go hashtag replay and go back and watch the rest of what we said earlier about the trash can, because that is the truth. That is the truth right there. It's funny that you use those exact words, because I'm gonna send it to you later, well, in a second. But I posted a replay of something that I used to do these community chats, and we just get into Zoom, and then I would talk about a topic, and then I would take it off a line. And then if you wanted to come into Zoom, we had a one-on-one, like a group chat. And we had this one, and I was like, the caption was, "I'm breaking up. We're breaking up today." And so everybody was in that one. They was like, "Oh God, what's going on? What's going on?" And the thing, and then we did this, like, what are we breaking up with today? And I'm like, so anyone that's out there that's still there, I know Halima just commented, Dion just commented, would do exactly what me and Dr. Sue just did. Tammy, Halima, everybody. What is something you're breaking up with? And what is something that you are getting ready to date? So as for me and Dr. Sue, I'm breaking up with playing small, and I'm going to start dating true, authentic confidence. Dr. Sue, what you breaking up with? Share yours.
I don't know. A lot. Y'all have to go back and listen to the replay.
She breaking up with the way she getting in and she get back in shape. She breaking up with all the things that people say.
That's
She said, "Oh yeah, that." But put it in the comments. Go ahead.
I'm dating me. And my word for the year is courage. Courage.
Yeah, my word for the year is build. BUILD, baby. I'm building this shit. I mean, it's gonna be building. I gotta find me a theme song. I like to find theme songs for the year, stuff like that, to put on. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta have something that just I can rock with. And that song that I was asking you if you listen to, I'm gonna put it in the comments down here because it's so good. And that's kind of like my thing for my life. I don't want nothing wishy-washy. Now, don't get me wrong. If we call it what it is, it can be what it is. But if it ain't that, then don't tell me that's what it is. Through this year and moving forward for all years to come, I want to know up front what's going on, so we can deal with what's going on for what's going on, and not think what ain't going on is going on, and then we're doing something different than what's supposed to be going on. Okay. Emily said, "My motto for 2025, less is more." You right about that. Less bullshit, more peace, baby. How about that one? Dion said, "I'm breaking up with overthinking and dating execution." I like that. Halima's breaking up with shrinking. You better say that. She gonna date self-acceptance. We's dating. We's dating, y'all. One of the best phases of a relationship is dating. Getting to know that self-confidence, getting to know that execution, getting to know how that less is more. Dating that good of knowing who you are and being good with that. And then that confidence that you wear when you go out in public and around other people, because it does not matter what they think, what they say, what they got going on. And you can still empathize, because you can be like, yeah, I completely understand why you feel the way
Yeah.
you feel, but I can tell you one thing, it ain't got to stay that way. Break up with that feeling and decide what else you're going to start dating. I promise you it's possible. And
Yeah.
man, the feeling that comes along with it is priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Freedom.
Look, let's get, wait a minute, let me get our whole bodies in there. Let me, hey, where does the little thing go? I don't know. They changed this thing and I just can't find nothing on this thing. I swear I can't.
Freedom.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Where is it? Yeah, we got freedom.
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 Hey, pivot. Pivot to greatness. Remember, greatness is your birthright.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to explain it. You don't have to look for it. All you gotta do, baby, is claim it. Claim it. It's yours.
Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. And on that note, we out of here. We hope you come back and see us next Friday. It'd be what? 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time for the late night happy hour with Dr. Sue and Carrie Irene. Mwah! Well, what comes up comes out. Bye.